Welcome to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast, brought to you by Trailstone Insurance Group, bringing you interviews with Colorado's best real estate and mortgage professionals, empowering you to understand the current trends in the housing market so you can make the American dream your reality. Enjoy today's episode.
Well, it's a great day in Colorado, and welcome to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast. Today, we have with us Ed Prather, who's the broker owner with Ed Prather Real Estate. Ed, welcome to the program.
Oh, I'm so happy to be on. Thank you so much for having me.
You are welcome. I'm looking forward to learning from you. We always seem to pick up little nuggets of knowledge and motivational sparks from different people that we're talking to. So I'm excited to talk with you, but get us first started with your story. What's your background and how did you even get into real estate in the first place?
Well, absolutely. And, it's interesting. I think that a lot of us real estate folks talk about it this way, but, I sort of felt like I didn't have a choice. I had sort of the real estate gene sort of in addition to that entrepreneurial gene. I knew from an early age, or it certainly felt that 9-to-5 thing is probably not going to work for me. I don't know if that's a blessing or a curse, but my dad was in real estate development, so a pretty different world. But I remember early on being really intrigued and interested in the deals that they were working on. And, from there, it kind of grew. And I think what has always been exciting with real estate, and as it pertains to sort of our path and trajectory, is, for one, it utilizes almost all skill sets, whether it's marketing, accounting, finance, lead generation, leadership, and then also what's cool about it is it's such a big industry. I mean, it touches all of us, whether we're renters or buyers or investors. But, with that, there's so many ways to utilize real estate, whether it's building wealth, whether it's, doing brokerage, building a team. And because of that, it's been, gosh, I got to say, a wild ride. I've touched on a few different areas within the industry, but I just love that it provides, of course, trajectory, but also so many different options. And as we move forward, being able to develop all those different skill sets as it sort of folds into, brokerage and real estate, investment and everything else that goes into the industry.
Yeah, I love it. And, you often hear about B2B, B2C, business to business, business to consumer, but I like to think of any industry as H to H, human to human.
Well, absolutely. And I mean, of course, that's what we're looking at in real estate. And, knowing that real estate plays a big part, not just a part, but a big part in everybody's lives. To us, it's very powerful. And what we have seen, especially with some of these big, financially Wall Street backed companies, is more and more people are trying to disrupt the industry. But by doing that, sort of or transactionalizing people, clients and buyers and sellers. And, what we realized, like, it is, about humans. It is about people. And we hold it very close to our heart, the idea that every single transaction, whether it's your 20th or it's your first home, is a big deal. When you let go of that, that's when things really go awry.
Yeah. Well said. The market has really changed a lot in the last 12, 18 months. I know you and your team have some really strong strategies to make this market still work. What are you guys doing to get through this?
It's a great question because, at the end of 2021, I think everybody in the industry, and us included, you sort of believe that rocket is going to keep going up. And of course, what goes up must come down. And especially after this crazy run that we've had, over the last 6 months, we've really turned inward, and we're focusing on two big major things. And that is, what is it like to be a team member at Ed Prather Real Estate? And then what is it like to be a client at Ed Prather Real Estate, and pushing and sort of stress testing that? So what does it feel like when things are going really well? And then, what does it feel like when things aren't going really well? Because we know that things are going to happen. There's stuff out of our control. And what we always say is, hey, we know something bad is going to happen at some point, but, really, how are we going to respond? And so looking at those two experiences, a team member and a client, we're trying to really get back to that foundation of, hey, we want to stand out because we care more We've done enough of it to refine the process and deliver extraordinary results. It's easy to be chasing, sort of the shiny object in this industry. And, gosh, of course I'm biased, but real estate is just known for it. And the more you do that, the more you sort of get off track. So, we have really looked at the core and the foundation of the business and really trying to make that experience, for everybody involved with our company, client or team member facing, extraordinary. So they come back and they stay and they're happy and they tell all their friends, whether that's a recruiting effort or whether that is a referral effort.
Sure.
It makes me think of the old, I'm not a hockey fan, but the old Wayne Gretzky quote, "I skate where the puck is headed." So you've almost got to have your finger to the pulse of the markets and where it could go, should go, and be motivating both, your Ed Prather internal team as well as the client's external team. Be almost like that motivational speaker going, "Guys, we are going to, dominate this market. And here's why. And here's the good things that I see." Not, "Well, I guess another day and let's go pound the pavement." So talk a little bit about what you do to speak into the future for success.
It's a great point. And right now, with all the uncertainty in the market, it's absolutely crucial, whether it be a team member or a client of ours or a prospect or anything else, providing information and education and support. When we take the approach that, "Hey, I need you to buy now because I need to go on a vacation," that's not how we create raving fans, both internally or externally. And that's how we transactionalize people. So, getting back to the, "Hey, I want to take care of you. And when it's time, we would love for you to think of us when it comes to real estate," being genuine and authentic, wanting to have the impact in not only our clients' lives, knowing how big a deal these transactions are, but also our team members' lives. And then, with what we've seen, it is very anticipatory. We don't know what's going on or what's going to happen tomorrow. We have some ideas, we have some indicators. And, I had talked earlier about chasing these shiny objects, and it's easy to do. But looking back, looking in the mirror at our foundation and just wanting to be the very best there is, understanding what it means to build a reputation and protect it, we believe that that's the path forward. And if we're authentic and genuine and letting our people know and make empowered, informed decisions, and when it's time, great. We have seen that propels the business in all forms forward, because we're not forcing transactions that may be ill-timed, may not be set up correctly for someone's position in life or with all this uncertainty. And that feels really good because that's something that we can live by moving forward, and take into the future.
What you just said makes me think of a huge point. When you try to fit that square peg in a round hole, you lose. When you see uncertainty and you try to push your clients forward to doing one thing that they're not ready for, you lose, and that impacts your reputation. That's not good. And what you described is educating people, having that heart of a teacher, and being able to help your clients, buyers or sellers, realize the choices that they make. And also even your internal team, when you bring people into your organization and you want to help them grow their world. Now, all of a sudden you're guiding and you're teaching and you're becoming that advocate for their success. So I think that's a huge mindset to focus on.
Absolutely. It absolutely is. And I mean, what do we keep talking about, right? Anticipating, but also the bigger picture. I sort of, when I was talking to you about my story, I've been licensed since 2007, and I didn't go full time until 2010. And I did a lot of investing, but my point being, I don't even know that I'm hireable at this point. I think anyone's going to see that I am an entrepreneur by heart. So, we're going with plan A. We need this to work. And when we take a step back and look at that bigger picture, what we call it in this industry is commission breath.
Yep.
When you have to get this darn sale because we got to have X, Y, or Z, happen by this time, it doesn't feel good. It doesn't look good. And again, it's not a way to create that extraordinary result, which obviously, that pushes that reputation and it pushes the business forward, whether that is a team member having success and spreading the word, or a client of ours who has nothing but a raving review, and it's naturally spreads rather than that force.
As a broker owner, you probably are looking for a lot of people that are not hireable because you want them to be intrapreneurial, which is having an entrepreneurial mindset up underneath your umbrella. So talk a little bit about when you are bringing new producers on and agents onto your team. What are some of the things that they experience? What's the culture, and how do you help them succeed to grow?
Well, we have, I've talked a lot about foundation, and especially over these last, several months. I mean, going into the mid of last year, this kind of shift makes us all of us look in the mirror and figure out, hey, who are we, and how are we going to make it through this? And through that, we've come up with our values, and we take this stuff very seriously. So, when we're looking at any addition, whether it's staff, administration, sales folks, we're looking at 7 different values, and we need everybody to check these boxes. And that is, we need you to be disciplined, driven, accountable, emotionally intelligent, coachable, optimistic, and then of course be a team player. And we take that really, really seriously. And when we see those, we believe that these are absolutely required to be successful, not only in this market, but any market. But when we see those, we bend over backwards. We are giving everything we possibly can as far as mentorship. We're giving training, ongoing support. And, of course, we give a lot of leads. We want people to have a runway, have a trajectory. But, if those core 7 values aren't met, it's probably not a fit. There's such a low barrier of entry for real estate. And I think that that's great, because it gives the ability for people to get in and, write their own ticket. But nobody realizes, or I should say very few realize, how difficult it actually is. And then, you put on top of it the uncertainty of today's market, and it's even more so. So, we try to really be clear on, hey, this is what we see is needed to work in this industry, especially right now. And as soon as we find people that match that, we go all in, because we know how hard it is. And especially if you're early on, to start in the industry right now is tough. So we want to make sure that it's the right person joining the organization, and that obviously they get everything they need to launch.
I'm sure you probably look at it like, when you see the right fit and then they come in and start thriving, you kind of look at it like a proud papa going, all right, team, we're doing it. We're getting it done right. We're all rowing in the same direction. Is probably such a great feeling to see the result, which is not revenues and all that, because that's got to pay the bills, but happy customers, raving fans, and people that you're really making a difference for in their lives with the real estate transactions.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because, gosh, if I can be totally honest here, I started the team in 2000, at the end of 2019. And, in the beginning, teams are still sort of a buzzword, right? Everybody wants to run a team, and it's, conceptually it's great. But, initially it was, hey, I need to provide security for my family. This is a way to do that. And what I realized is, yes, obviously we need to make ends meet, but just to your point, what has become more important is having the impact of the team in team members' lives. And when you see somebody who comes from a situation where there isn't the support, there isn't the training, there isn't that trajectory, but they've got those 7 values, they've got the core pillars that they need to succeed, and then seeing them succeed, that impact has become absolutely incredible. And the nice thing with the team format, I will say, or at least the way that we operate, is, this model does not work unless the agents are successful. It's very opposite of a, hey, join me, pay me a desk fee so I can keep the lights on, and I'm going to wish you the very best. And because we have those sales pointed in the same direction, it's great culture. We all want the same thing. It's not holding things tight to the vest. It is, hey, I found something that really works. You guys need to know. And it's real-time collaboration across the entirety of the team.
That's huge, real-time
Mhm.
collaboration. And I'm sure you've got one person that's a little bit more expert in this area and another person a little bit more expert in that area. And then when you have team meetings, then you can come together and go, ooh, here's how to solve that problem. And so it really creates that, mastermind, so to speak.
Well, absolutely right. I mean, there's all sorts of teams. I mean, again, I go back to real estate. Something that's so intriguing about it is there's so many ways you can leverage and utilize the skill set. And to that point, there's a lot of different ways that you can operate and manage a team. But the way that we have it, and especially right now, it's so crucial. Is I mean, we promote it, we push it, we require it. I mean, if you're a team player, that's sharing what works. It's helping people when they need help. You're exactly right. When we talk about we can't be good at everything, right? And so we are looking at the folks that are really good in certain areas to collaborate with us and share with us what's working, and that's been fantastic because the openness is absolutely there. We all want the same things, and that's what I love so much about the team is that truly it doesn't work unless everybody is successful.
Well, Ed, I think it's been so neat hearing about your culture and your team and your approach to serving the market. If someone is listening to this wanting to reach out and connect with you, what's the best way they can do that?
I shoot me an email directly. We are always looking for special people who are committed to real estate that have a big why. We love talking real estate. Come by the office anytime. We're out in Lakewood. My email is ed@edprather.com. You're very welcome to jump on our website, edprather.com. There's plenty of links to tell you about what it looks like to be on the team, what it feels like to be a client. And of course, I would welcome you to get in touch, and I'll look forward to chatting.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming on, Ed. It was a real pleasure talking with you.
Thank you so much again for having me. It was a blast.
Thank you for listening to the Colorado Real Estate Leaders Podcast, brought to you by Trailstone Insurance Group. To learn more about the topics mentioned on today's show or listen to past episodes, visit www.coloradorealestateleaders.com.